KORK North Bay, your source for news and happenings throughout the North Bay.
Hello and thanks for watching KORK North Bay TV. Coming up is our weekly wrap covering all the news stories and happenings that took place this past week throughout the greater San Francisco North Bay. On Tuesday in the town of Sonoma, a woman was arrested after she got into an altercation with a man in the Maxwell Shopping Center parking lot and for apparently flashing some teens at the local skate park. According to the report, this incident took place just before 8 o'clock in the evening when the 48-year-old woman, who was only identified as a resident of Santa Rosa, spit on a man's vehicle and then tampered with his rear license plate. When the man tried to stop her, she apparently slapped him, so he called the police. When officers arrived, he pointed her out to them, but he didn't want to press any charges. But her shenanigans weren't quite over there because she was arrested anyway for being intoxicated in public. While the officers were placing her under arrest, a couple of teens walked up to them and said that this was the same woman who had flashed her breasts at several teens over at the skateboard park just north of the shopping center. It turns out that this woman was already on probation for a previous conviction for possession of a controlled substance and petty theft. Plus, she was awaiting trial for charges of battery on a peace officer and another case for possession of a controlled substance. She was booked in the Sonoma County Jail on charges of public intoxication, indecent exposure, and violation of probation. In Santa Rosa on Tuesday at about 6:40 in the morning, a woman was hit by the SMART train right before it reached the Piner Road crossing. The train was heading northbound at the time, and the woman was struck just south of the Piner crossing. The train was carrying 22 passengers at the time and immediately stopped. The conductor then called for first responders. Police officers arrived at the scene first and located the unresponsive woman laying next to the tracks, suffering from life-threatening injuries. Moments later, medics arrived and began giving the woman life-saving measures and then transported her by ambulance to the hospital. There aren't many details being released about the incident in regards to how or why the woman was on the tracks when she was hit. So far, there have been 19 people who have been hit and killed by the train since it began running, several of which were suicides, so officials are trying to determine the cause in this incident as well. There's been no word released on her condition from the hospital. If more comes out about it, we'll bring it to you. In the northern part of the Sonoma County coast at Salt Point State Park campgrounds, which is about 30 miles north of Bodega Bay, a fun weekend of camping turned incredibly tragic when the driver of an RV accidentally backed over a 4-year-old girl, causing her fatal injuries. This incredibly sad incident took place on Sunday at about 11 o'clock in the morning when a friend of the little girl's family was getting ready to leave his campsite and thought that his motorhome was in drive, but it was apparently still in reverse, and he accidentally backed over the little girl, pinning her underneath the heavy RV. 911 was called and first responders from several agencies arrived as quickly as possible. Then they set up a series of jacks to lift the motorhome high enough to get her out. She was then airlifted by chopper to UCSF Benninghoff Children's Hospital in Oakland. Unfortunately, she was not able to be saved and she passed away later that afternoon. No names or information were released of anyone involved in this terribly sad story. Our deepest condolences go out to her family. In Vallejo during the early hours of Tuesday morning at about 4:20 a.m., a Vallejo police officer out on routine patrol spotted a motorcycle traveling at a high rate of speed at the intersection of Sonoma Boulevard and Tennessee Street. So he hit his lights and siren and gave chase. But instead of the rider pulling over, he decided to make a fatal mistake by going even faster in an attempt to lose that officer. Because of the high rate of speed the bike was going as it blasted through each intersection, the officer decided to call off the chase for the safety of others on the road. But 3 minutes later, a call was made to 911 that a bad accident had just happened between a motorcycle and a car on the 2100 block of Sacramento Street. So the officer hit his lights and siren again and headed over to that location. When he got there, it was apparent that the bike was going at a pretty good rate of speed when it collided with a parked car and the rider was wedged underneath it. When Vallejo Fire Department arrived, they used jacks to lift the vehicle up in order to get the rider out. But despite their best efforts, he was pronounced deceased at the scene. There was no information available on the identity or the age of the rider, or any word on why he was racing around like he was. His death marks the 8th fatal traffic collision in the city of Vallejo this year. On the lighter side of news, on Thursday this week in the town of Napa, a robbery took place at the local Safeway store that amounted to a little more than $2,000 worth of merchandise. No, the merchandise wasn't a bunch of groceries, but rather one of their electric-powered riding carts that they have for handicapped people. That's right, a man identified as 55-year-old Edward McCullough, a resident of Napa, decided to go shopping and then steal a riding cart and make his getaway going down the sidewalk at a whopping 2 miles an hour, which prompted Safeway to call the police. Officers spotted Mr. McCullough making his getaway down the sidewalk at a very low speed that ended rather abruptly when he was confronted by the officers. McCullough was taken into custody and given a ride to the police station in a vehicle that wasn't stolen. Officer Cortez was lucky enough to pick the short straw and had to drive the cart back to the store where it belonged. That's Officer Cortez right there. Safeway was happy to get their electric cart back, and the officers were happy to book Mr. McCullough into the county jail. This broadcast is sponsored by Mike Larbury Automotive. 5-star ratings for all of your domestic and import automotive repair needs, located on Highway 12 in Sonoma. Mention you saw them here on KORK TV to receive a special discount. And also by Sonoma Paint Center, your source for all of your home and automotive paint and supply needs.
Transform your home or business with Sonoma Paint Center. As your local Benjamin Moore retailer, we've got everything you need to paint inside and out, plus top quality stains. Step inside our Santa Rosa location or visit us in Sonoma, Sebastopol, and now our newest location in Napa. From vibrant colors to durable finishes and required supplies, we'll help you bring your vision to life. Sonoma Paint Center, serving you in Santa Rosa, Sonoma, Sebastopol, and now Napa. Sonoma Paint Center, color your world.
Well, that's it for our weekly wrap. Thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We'll see you again on Monday for our weekend wrap. Remember, you can watch us on our website at KORKTV.com, or you can also watch us on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, or on our new YouTube channel. In any of those platforms, just search for KORK North Bay TV and add our channel to your favorites. We'd sure appreciate it. We'd like to wish everyone a safe, healthy, and happy weekend. Thanks for watching.